Welcome to Thrive Now. We bring you motivation, inspiration, and education to help you thrive. It's time to elevate your game. All right. So here we are with Peter Khoury. Peter, welcome to the show.
Woo woo!
Are you excited?
Excited.
All right, so the question, obviously you already know, the first question, what does it mean to you, Peter Khoury, living a thriving life? What does it mean to you?
I think there's a distinction between thriving and surviving, and I remember growing up, I was always in survival mode.
Okay.
Like I'm sure we're gonna talk about this maybe.
Yeah.
I was an immigrant here to the U.S. and we came in. We had no resources. We didn't know anybody, so it was about survival for so long. Like just barely making it, just to make the rent, make food, all our family members. And it took years till we shifted from that survival state to thrive, which means, okay, we no longer just make money to just get food. We make money to invest, to do things we like.
Buy properties.
Do the things you like. Like go on vacation. Like that was unheard of, honestly. Like when it first came to the U.S., like vacation, what is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
You still have a hard time going on vacation.
I said, but now it's a choice.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
you
a choice.
can if you want to.
You can.
Oh.
So thriving for me is like having extra money to invest and build your future.
Awesome. What did you? I actually never have asked you this question. I know you. You're one of my mentors. I'm so grateful and just so grateful to just have you in my life. I never asked you this. Who did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah. Oh my God. I would have to say, like, if I go back in my memories, this is a funny one. I wanted to be like Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay, what does that mean?
Like be both a scientist and an artist.
Ooh.
And I remember when I was a kid, I would read the biography of Leonardo da Vinci, and I would try to emulate him. Like I would do experiments, I would paint, and that actually guided my whole youth.
Okay.
Up until high school, I wanted to be an artist, and that was because I was emulating Leonardo da Vinci.
So obviously now, the following question: how much of that do you live right now in your life? What do you think? Are you Leonardo da Vinci?
No.
I mean, do you
parts
feel like
of it?
Okay.
Yeah, like parts of it. Like for example, the first part of my life, I wanted to be an artist, and then I went to college, and that shifted, and I did a 180-degree shift, and I went into engineering.
Okay.
In college, so that's the opposite of being an artist, being an engineer. And then after college, I worked as an engineer, and then I did another 180-degree flip. And then I kept just going back and forth. Now I think I'm like in a balanced spot where I'm a little bit artistic and a little bit scientist. And I think maybe that's this is what makes me happy. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned you said that you were just surviving. Did you know that you were surviving?
Yeah, for sure. It's tough. It was like it's a drag every single day. I felt like a victim. I didn't have power over the environment, over anything. I couldn't buy things. I would even dread like going on dates because like, oh my God, it's like I have to spend money. I have to have money. I don't have, right? I don't have money.
Oh, wow.
Jesus, where can I get money?
Okay. So, and do you remember one specific incident where you were like, okay, this is not fun. I need to get out of this situation?
I can remember many. One of them, I'll tell you one. when I was in high school, I was graduating, I wanted to go to college.
Okay.
I wanted to get an education. And I was looking at my classmates. Some of them were like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Santa Clara University. I'm gonna go to UC Davis."
Uh-huh.
I'm like, dude, I can't even afford, the local community college.
Oh.
And that came, actually, honestly, I think it came from being in this survival limited mode, because I think I could have gone anywhere, but when you're like in that mindset, I'm just surviving.
Yes.
There are no options
Wow.
to you. So I ended up going to community college. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think, if I had a broader, bigger mentality, a thriving mentality, I could have gone anywhere I wanted.
So what was that? Was it like a book or a mentor that opened up your mind and your belief system? Like, I can do this. Like, there's more for me. Did you always knew that, or something?
No. Well, actually, I kind of, when I was growing up, I had that mentality. It's just once we came to the U.S., I lost it, because now, everything changed for us. We had to go in this survival mode. And little by little, I got out of it. It's the little things. And I think there are coincidences. So I'm thankful for things that happened that are beyond my control that helped me get into that state. I remember one book called, I think I shared it with you before, called I think it's called The Power of Thinking Big, or The Magic of Thinking Big.
I think The Power of Thinking Big.
Yeah, so one of those books. So I was in college now, and I'm still in survival mode, working full-time, working a couple of jobs just to pay the bills and just go through the motions. And one day I'm like going through the bookstore at college, and I see this book called The Magic of Thinking Big, or The Power of Thinking Big. One of those. Let's call it The Magic of Thinking Big. So I pick it up, and then I can't afford to buy it. I'm serious. I can't afford to buy this, like $9, and I can't. So I'm sitting there in the bookstore just going through it, and there was a chapter about moving fast.
Okay.
And it said, if you want to feel better, start walking faster. Like it said like 10-15% faster. So I'm like, what is 10-15% faster? So I go, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I put the book back, I walk out, now I'm walking faster. And on the way, to my class, I see a couple of girls walking towards me who are in my class, and then they smiled at me and said, "Wow, you're busy." And then all of a sudden I'm like feeling good, and I didn't realize, oh my God, just by walking faster you can start changing things around you. And that was the beginning. I feel like that was the beginning of me doing self-development, because I thought, wow, there's something I can do that's gonna make me feel better and make things change, where before I didn't think anything was possible.
So obviously, ongoing education, personal development has been part of your life.
100%, and it's still part of my life.
Yeah.
I still work with coaches. I still read almost one book a week now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, one of the biggest things that when you kind of in that, sometimes actually you're hungry, you work harder when you're in that survival mode, because you feel like, I'm not happy where I am. But then you get certain level where, okay, you have your house, you have your car, you have, decent money in the bank. What motivates you to kind of always get to that next level? I always say there's another level for all of us, no matter where you are. But how do you keep motivating yourself to move forward, to ask more of yourself, learn more, give more, earn more?
It's funny how this works. Like it's true. You work hard in survival mode, and because you're working hard and you're looking for opportunities, things might start to look up. At a certain point, you reach the bare minimum things you need, right? So you go beyond the survival mode to this maybe thriving mode. And at that thriving mode, there will be periods, like I've experienced those, where like you go, what's next? I have enough. Why do I need to go early to work? Why do I need to work late? Why do I need to come up with a new idea? And then, I don't know how, it's like it's part of life. Shit hits the fan. I don't know. It always happened to me. Like, once I get comfortable and I get complacent a little bit, just shit hits the fan. A problem here, problem there. Big tax bill, for example. And then when you see it, you go, oh my God, what I have is not enough. I need to be bigger.
Yeah.
And then you go into that fight or flight mode again. But it's not survival now. It's like, oh, I want to keep what I have. I want to make more. And then it shoots you to the next level. Then you get complacent again. And then shit hits the fan again. And then you go,
wow,
I want to be bigger. And that's, I think, like part of my business. Initially, when I started in business, I didn't want to have a company and employees. I thought I just want to work. I want to work by myself, make enough income, take vacations. But pretty soon I realized, it's like that's too small. Anything can happen. A little lawsuit, something happens. Just take it out. And that's when I decided to be bigger, and then bigger.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking even bigger.
Yeah. I'm amazed what you have achieved. Now you have one of the most successful public speaking companies in San Francisco. I work with a lot of many different companies, and a lot of people can look at it and it's like, I admire you for what you have achieved. And I always like to look for patterns. So what would you say that like the 3 key things that have contributed to your success?
I would say, let's see if we can build it to 3.
Okay.
One is
not particular order. Just doesn't have
maybe one is being systematic. I don't know. Like I know a lot of people who are not systematic and they're successful, but like for me, that's what works.
What does that mean to you? That's having systems for
thinking systematically about problems, about building the business, like where to invest in the business, who to hire, when to ask for a long lease, that kind of stuff. And I think I have that kind of ability, and that helped me a lot. Second is continuous, never-ending learning. Continuous learning. Like I work with clients, as you know, who come from different industries, from biotech, from artificial intelligence, from security, and the only reason I can help them is because I can accumulate knowledge in those areas really, really quick, so I can help them with their presentations, and that came from me and my ability to continuously just learn, like dive deep and really know their material, even as close as possible to them. So that would be second. Then third is just like being an entrepreneur. Just applying creativity to solving general problems.
So creativity to solving problems. Very, very cool. So what's the I think the biggest thing for me, but this is like why I'm doing this show. It's ongoing education is so important. I think that's why we're here. That's why listeners are here.
Sure.
So I love that. And Peter Khoury, in 10 years, where are you? What are you doing?
I don't know. Thriving more.
Okay.
Yes, that for a fact that's going to be the case. Now, specifically how, I am not sure. I give up on that. Initially in my life, I was always thinking oh, in 10 years I'm going to be a doctor. Like when I went to college, that's what I wanted to be. But I'm far away from being a doctor, as far as possible now. So I try not to think of specifically what I will be doing.
I like that.
Yeah. So some people think oh, are you gonna have, I don't know, $100 million company? I'm not sure. Maybe in 10 years I'll be retired. Whatever that means. Yeah. But I'll be thriving for sure.
Yeah. And completely different level.
At a completely financially, emotionally, that's what I look for.
The relationship.
Yeah, exactly. In all areas.
So we've been talking a lot of different things, but the reason you are on the show, you are a very successful entrepreneur. You're somebody who moved here with nothing, with nothing, and you made something out of yourself.
Yeah.
And you provide a lot of value to people. And I know a lot of people who listen to this show are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs. Like, what is your take on, like, what does it take to be successful as an entrepreneur, or how to even go about starting a company? I mean, a lot of people get so overwhelmed. There's so much advice out there. What's your take on that?
For me, it's experimentation, because I almost nothing I've started from scratch worked out like I wanted it to be. I would start with a kernel of an idea, a small thing, and then I would try it, and sometimes it fails, so I try something different, and I keep moving it around until I find something that works, and I keep building, and before you know it, you have something that works. Like a lot of times people look at Magnetic Speaking, our company, and they go, "Wow, how did you create this thing?"
Yeah.
It's like, it was a disaster in the beginning. I had no idea there was gonna be Magnetic Speaking. I had no clue. I just started, okay, I'm gonna teach a class on something, and then from there, people were asking about public speaking, so I did a little bit public speaking, and they're like, "Oh, are they willing to pay for this?" Then I said, "Oh, we might have a class in a month, full day. Would you pay for it?" Some people said yes. I said, "Oh, that's great." So I started rolling in that direction.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, exactly. It's like little by little.
So be open.
Be open to change. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they get too bought into the ego of being right.
Yes.
And they go, "Oh, I'm gonna start a company that's gonna I don't know, cure diabetes."
Yeah.
And there's this specific technology that's gonna cure diabetes, and they're stuck to that. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna make it work. But sometimes it's not gonna work. Sometimes the people don't want it. Sometimes nobody wants to pay for it. And so you gotta be like, okay, where do I take it from here? In startup land, they call it pivoting. And you have to be like, always be pivoting and always be patient, knowing that's gonna work out. Some people pivot, but they give up too soon. And sometimes I understand, some people have responsibilities. I got lucky. In the beginning, my wife was there for me and supported me, and I was bringing some income, and it was like, showing her like, "Oh, I made a little bit extra this month," and she was like, "Great,
good
and
job,
good
nice.
job, like, great."
Congratulations.
So it just I kept rolling that way.
Were you at any point like this close to give up?
Oh, in the beginning, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
Once I left my job, I was almost every single day I was on Craigslist looking for jobs. I would look for a job, like, okay, now I'm not ready to apply yet, but that's a good potential. And then the next day I'll be like looking, and then the frequency of that just got little smaller and smaller. So later it was like once a week, later it's once every month, later it's once every year. Now I have to admit, I still do it. The other day I was looking like, what's possible if I leave this?
Yeah.
What would be possible out there?
But you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, I don't think you would survive.
Yeah.
You would go from thriving to surviving. I think it's just not for you. And
That's
hey,
right.
by the way, if you're watching this and you were in a job, you can thrive in a job. Entrepreneurship is not the only way.
It depends on the person.
Yes.
Because for me, having a job is harder than having a business.
Yeah.
For some people, having a business is harder than having a job.
Entrepreneurship, has a lot of challenges. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of summarized that as far as entrepreneurship, just lean in, don't be attached to ideas, start trying, listen to feedback, and just keep going.
And
just
keep
pivoting.
going. Keep pivoting and keep going. Don't give up. Sometimes people give up too soon.
Exactly. Excellent. Well, Peter, it's been fun, having you on our show, helping people going from surviving to thriving. That's what we're about. And I feel like, if they're listening to the show and just gonna walk away, I always say it's pure. We're not here to entertain. We are here to help people make a difference in their lives. So, one action step from you, if they took this advice, implemented, could make a big impact in their life, what would that be?
I would give two.
Okay.
I thought,
fine. Two.
One. I'm just gonna give two because that's like the momentum just started.
Okay.
One is always view yourself as you're in training. So you learn stuff and you practice. Like, for example, public speaking. It's not a one-shot thing. You keep practicing, you keep building your skills. If you're in a certain industry, then you're always practicing and building your skills in that industry. And that's the first thing. Always be training, not just learning, because there's a big difference. Second thing, I would say think outside the box and inside the box. Because some people tell you, oh, you got to be inside the box. Some people tell you, you got to be outside the box. I think you need both. Thinking inside the box is doing what's needed to get things done. Like you pay your taxes, you file your taxes. That's inside the box. You still need that. Or else, the IRS will be after you.
Yeah.
The second thing is to think outside the box. Look for other alternatives. Look for different ways to solve your client's problems. Look for different ways to make your taxes more efficient, right? And I think thinking both ways, inside the box and outside the box, is one of the keys to thriving.
Peter, I want to say thank you so much for being in the show. I've been enjoying learning from you personally. I'm grateful that to have you in my life. And before I let you go, what is the one person that made the biggest impact on your life?
Oh, so many
One
people.
person that comes to your mind.
It's probably my grandfather. Grandfather was a farmer, grew up as a farmer in a small village in the West Bank, and he decided to go outside the village into the city and start a bakery business, and he became a very successful entrepreneur and a big inspiration in my life.
Peter, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for being here with us, with Peter Khoury, the founder and CEO of Magnetic Speaking, based in San Francisco Bay Area. Thanks for watching, or thanks for listening wherever you are, and we will see you on our next episode.
Next episode, baby.